Hello and welcome to another edition of Take Pride in Retirement. Matt McClure here with you, your host, your advisor, your friend, your pal, and your confidant. Really appreciate you being a part of things. You know, this is the podcast where, and the YouTube show as well. You know, if you're watching on the YouTubes, you know that. If you're listening to the podcast, maybe you don't. But it's a podcast. It's a YouTube show. And it is all dedicated to helping members of the LGBTQ plus community invest with confidence, retire successfully, do all of that on your terms. You know, on Take Pride in Retirement, I like to focus on helping you build a more tax efficient, fee efficient, and market efficient portfolio. All of those things go together to make you have a more successful retirement. So your money works harder for you. You've worked hard for it. It can work hard for you. And let's actually do that and make that happen. We'll also talk about ways on the show to maximize your Social Security benefits, create reliable lifetime income, move beyond that traditional, usually outdated 4% annual withdrawal rate in retirement. If you've ever heard of the 4% rule, not so much anymore, so that you can actually retire with some clarity, with some confidence, and with a whole lot of pride at the same time. You know, retirement is not just about money. It's about you. It's about your freedom. It's about your security. It's about living life on your terms and authentically. So that is what the show is all about. And that is what this episode is going to be about a lot as well. Gotta say a couple of things housekeeping wise. If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, would really appreciate that. Gosh, it would help me so much. Help me spread the word about all the good things that we talk about on the show. Also, if you would like a consultation, if anything that I'm coming up with to talk about on the show today, and I hope it's going to hit home because we're talking about market volatility and things have been volatile in the world and as a result in the markets. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I will say, if anything that I talk about on the show really does resonate with you and you want to have that retirement that you can take pride in, then give me a call, 855-246-9211. 855-246-9211. You can also go to the website, takeprideinretirement.com. You can schedule a consultation there. You can do all the things, right? You can see about me, see past episodes of the show. You can do a whole lot. So takeprideinretirement.com is the website. And okay, so today it really is, you know, I've been talking about this a lot lately, just in everyday life. The world is crazy. I don't know if you've noticed. Things are kind of insane at the moment, but we're going to talk about kind of the challenge of retiring or planning to retire in a volatile market. You know, the world is volatile, so that means there's going to be some volatility in the market as well. Sometimes the market can shake off things that happen internationally or domestically or whatever might be the latest upheaval, right? Sometimes they can't. Sometimes markets do actually reflect what in the world is happening, well, in the world. And so you got to be prepared no matter what happens. And so, you know, it's another year, 2026, and Happy New Year, by the way. 2026 is another year of elevated uncertainty, right? It is a year where we're seeing tariff-driven price pressures. You know, we're seeing price increases. You go to the grocery store, you go to the big box store, or even your local corner shop or whatever. Things are not getting any cheaper. Don't know if you've noticed, but we've got tariffs driving prices higher. We've got geopolitical conflict. We've got inflation that's just been really stubborn in key spending categories. And yeah, it is another election year. Believe it or not. You're like, didn't we just do this? Yeah, it's the midterms coming up with the House and the Senate. Roughly about a third of the Senate seats all up for election. All of the House seats up for election. And then we've got governor's races in a bunch of states, and it's going to be a busy, and state legislatures and all that. It's going to be a busy, busy year for election stuff. And so for LGBTQ people, that brings up a whole lot of other, concerns, right? We have an additional layer, not only of sort of emotional stress regarding that, but financial anxiety as well. Policies affecting same-sex couples could be up for a vote, could be up for, determination based on who wins the midterm elections in November. Healthcare access, spousal benefits, employment protections, all of that can shift, obviously, and shift pretty significantly depending on who's in power. And that uncertainty really does add another dimension to planning your financial future. And The critical point, though, here that I want to make as we start off is that there is market volatility that affects everybody, but it affects LGBTQ plus retirees differently, right? Not just because of the math, but because of our lived experience as members of the LGBTQ plus community. Historically, a lot of us faced wage discrimination, career interruptions. Hello, I am raising my hand. If you're listening to the audio version of this, definitely faced that. Higher healthcare costs, later life caregiving responsibilities without family support that many other people rely on. And all of that really compounds the risk that volatile markets pose to retirement savings, right? And volatility absolutely hits retirees and pre-retirees harder than it does younger investors. So, when you're still working, the downturns mean you can buy low and sell high, right? You can buy low, but shares are on sale. You can buy them up and you can ride the wave when things go back up again because you got time on your side. Volatility can actually help you in that way. But if you're retired, no, you can't do that because you're withdrawing from those same accounts. So the market's going down and you're withdrawing. It's a big double whammy. And so a downturn early in retirement, not an ideal situation to say the least. That is called sequence of returns risk. It's when the sequence of your returns does not align with the way that you have to be withdrawing from your retirement accounts because you're already in retirement. So if you are not seeing returns, if you are seeing losses or negative returns, you could say, and you're making those withdrawals, again, double whammy there. Research from Morningstar shows that it's one of the single most important concepts in retirement planning. So you got to protect yourself from it. And then you add another challenge here because retirees actually tend to underperform the market due to emotional decision making. I've seen this a few times in my career and in my life. And LGBTQ plus retirees often report feeling more financial anxiety because many shoulder the burden of planning almost entirely on their own. I've had at least 3 different clients reach out to me this week expressing that very thing, that they are just anxious about where the market could be headed, where the economy could be headed, all of the different, where the world could be headed geopolitically. And that's the thing is they're planning this. Actually, all 3 of the clients that I'm thinking of that are coming to my head right now are planning it pretty much alone. And they're planning it with me, but they're planning it a lot. They don't have that traditional sort of family structure help and a spouse or whatever, spousal help and all that. So it can be difficult for LGBTQ plus folks. And also longevity, right? Same-sex couples actually live slightly longer on average, according to some emerging demographic data. Actually, the Society of Actuaries shows a 65-year-old couple has about a 50% chance that one of you is going to live past age 90. Let me say that again. If you are 65, if you are a 65-year-old couple, one of you will likely live to age 90 at least 50% of the time, right? So that's what that sort of data boils down to. And longer lives mean longer retirements, bigger healthcare budgets, more pressure on your income plan. And so the bottom line here is, if retirement is here for you, if 2026 not only brought a new year, it also brought retirement for you, or if it's around the corner, or if you're in retirement now for a little bit, it's not about how much your portfolio earns at that point. It's about how long your money is going to last and whether it can support the life that you want to build, the life that you have worked so hard to build for your retirement years. And for LGBTQ plus retirees, that predictability and security matters even more. So, if the headlines or the politics have you feeling just super uncertain about where things are headed, especially personally, right? You can be anxious about all of these things that happen sort of around us and without our being able to control them, right? You can sort of just generally be anxious about that. You can also really be anxious about that affecting you in a very personal way. because it could make you feel uncertain about your retirement income. Are the markets going to be stable enough for me to be able to retire when that time comes? You are absolutely not alone if you're feeling that way. LGBTQ plus people face a really unique mix of financial and emotional pressures. And you don't have to go through that by yourself. What I do for listeners of the show is give you, if you reach out to me, 855-246-9211 is the number. Website is takeprideinretirement.com. You reach out there, I'll give you a no-cost retirement analysis. And it's going to show you how much income you can count on in your current plan, if you have one. If you don't have one, we'll put together one for you. How much income you can count on with a plan that I suggest for you, whether you're exposed to sequence of returns risk, if there are gaps that exist in your plan, if you're going to have a retirement income gap, not enough money each month, more month than money rather than the other way around. How to create that predictable and steady income in any market, no matter what the stock market does, no matter what the bond market does, no matter any of those things, to create that reliable, predictable, steady income. That is just really part of what you get. Get financial plan to your 95th birthday, all the things like very in-depth analysis. Again, takeprideinretirement.com is the website. The number is 855-246-9211. And there is no cost, there's no obligation to that analysis and that initial consultation. All right, so how do you secure a predictable income stream, right? Well, let's talk about it. Predictable income is the foundation of retirement. And because predictable income means a predictable lifestyle, it's so important. For LGBTQ plus retirees, I believe having that baseline of financial security can also mean a lot more independence, safety, peace of mind in a world where support networks may look different. We talk about it all the time here on the show. Your support network may look different than the straight couple living down the street or whatever, because, and it's not universally true. Obviously, don't mean to overgeneralize or anything like that at all. But what I do mean to do is say, look, if you are in a, relationship, let's say you're in a same-sex relationship, you are in some sort of, rainbow shaded relationship at all, then your needs may be different because your family structure may be different, right? You may not have that support of, your mom, dad, your whomever you grew up with, grandparents, all of that stuff since you came out. It's just an unfortunate fact in our community. But we can plan for that, right? We can plan so that you can have that independence. Researchers at the Stanford Center on Longevity came up with this sort of emphasis on building stable income sources that you can absolutely count on. They did a lot of research that went into this, and some of their findings are that you need to really sort of prioritize what you want your income to go toward, right? So first thing is know your essential versus discretionary expenses. So your essential expenses, those are the must-haves, right? The have-to-haves, the gotta-haves. The roof over your head, the water to drink, the electricity, keep the lights on, the car to drive, whatever form of transportation. All of those things are the essentials month to month. And then those discretionary expenses, the things that you could live without, right? Once you know what those things are, then you know what income sources should go to pay for those things, right? So with those essentials that I talked about, those have-to-haves, those must-haves, those need to come from, those expenses need to be paid for with absolutely 100% reliable, highly stable, and or guaranteed sources of income. Things like Social Security. And yes, LGBTQ plus couples do now have full spousal benefit rights as of this podcast. Pensions, which are becoming more and more rare, of course, as we've talked about on the show before. Go to takeprideinretirement.com or listen wherever you get your podcast. But they're incredibly, incredibly valuable when they are available to you. They're more likely available to you if you work for the government or some agency, maybe a older large corporation, that kind of thing. Lifetime income annuities. I love this source of reliable income for people, for a lot of people, because it just makes sense, right? It's kind of a pension that you personally fund. So if you've got money saved up in a 401k or an IRA or whatever the case might be, then you can just roll that into an annuity, actually let it grow, get some market-like growth in particular kinds of annuities, get market-like growth without the market risk, and then flip a switch in retirement, turn that into income. Does it make sense for your whole portfolio? No. A good chunk of it, yes, most likely, and we can take a look at that. Those essential things should also be paid for with laddered bonds or CDs, perhaps, short duration treasuries, any sort of income generating type of investment like that. But your discretionary income, those things that you like to have, but you don't necessarily have to have, those are things like, your travel, your hobbies, doing the things that you like to do, not necessarily that you have to do, helping family, giving back, that kind of stuff. That can come from market-based or more flexible income sources, more flexible assets. And so, especially if you are an LGBTQ plus retiree who doesn't have children, or you don't have traditional family caregivers, making sure that those essential expenses are covered each and every month and covered for life is like just mission critical, right? It is the thing that you need to do. Then the other thing that kind of came from this Stanford Center on Longevity research showed that one thing to consider is a 3-bucket income strategy. And it's really one of the most effective ways to kind of look at things, especially for LGBTQ plus folks, protecting you from market volatility, healthcare shocks, longevity risk, all of those types of things, is that you got a short-term bucket that is money that you're going to live on years, say 1 through 3, like your immediate bucket of money. And that's stuff like, your checking account, cash, CDs, money markets. That's the kind of thing that you're going to look at there. The midterm bucket, maybe you're looking at more conservative instruments for your investments there, where you're going to put your money there. You're looking at structured income products, certain types of annuities there. And then your long-term bucket is really growth focused. It's more aggressive, right? So that's the thing that you're looking for your growth. And that's years 10 plus what you're thinking about there. So years 1 through 3 in that short-term bucket, 4 to 10-ish in the midterm bucket, and then years 10 plus in that long-term bucket. And it gives you some good breathing room so that you can plan not only for today and tomorrow, but down the road. And you know that you have income for today and you have growth for tomorrow. And then, of course, that predictability, and this is something I'm going to talk about a lot more on the next episode, is emotional investing. But predictability like that can really reduce emotional decision making. Because if you have predictable income, if you have that reliable income stream coming in, no matter what is there really to be emotional about? Because you don't fear losing everything tomorrow. You don't fear losing all of your investments if the market goes down, or if we have another 2008 or .com bubble burst, or God forbid, a Great Depression. You really don't fear that because you've got those guaranteed income sources. You don't feel pressured to do something every time the next headline pops up on your phone, right? And for many of us in the LGBTQ plus community, you've weathered significant financial and social uncertainty throughout your life. Predictable income is not just a retirement strategy. It is really a source of not only stability, but dignity and empowerment. And it is something that is so essential for you to have that retirement you can take pride in. All right. Well, so if you are ready to explore a plan that is tailor-made for you, I can present one to you. Go to takeprideinretirement.com, click schedule a consultation, or just click the contact page there. You can reach out, takeprideinretirement.com, call 855-246-9211, 855-246-9211. That is the number to call. And you can schedule that complimentary retirement analysis. I'm going to give you a look at your investment portfolio, Social Security claiming strategy. I am a registered Social Security analyst, and I can really do a deep dive into your different claiming strategies and what that might mean for you, your spouse, your family. Your tax exposure in retirement, we'll take a look at that. And your overall income plan, get you something that's built to last. Again, it is takeprideinretirement.com. And that is really, I want you to go there, takeprideinretirement.com, because your retirement needs to reflect you. It should reflect you. Your life has been spent building this nest egg. And, maybe you've had hiccups along the way. Maybe you've had some speed bumps. Maybe you've had some times where you've just fallen on your face, financially speaking. No matter who you are, where you come from, who you love, how you identify, or how much money you have, you deserve a retirement that you can take pride in. TakePrideInRetirement.com is the website, once again, for that free consultation. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the show. Thank you so much, as always, for joining. I really do appreciate it. Please spread the word. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you are listening to the podcast, leave us a rating, a nice comment there. I would really appreciate it. Just help spread the good word about what we're doing here. And it really is all in just love and support for the LGBTQ plus community. I just want to give back and help people because that's what I love doing. All right. Well, that's going to do it again for this time around. And until next time, take pride in yourselves and take care of each other. We'll see you then.